Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. As always, a free way to support the channel is by leaving a thumbs up, by leaving a comment, by subscribing if you have not done so already. Hello to the thousands of new subscribers over the last couple of days, and to everyone who has written a comment and all that jazz. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. There's a lot happening within the cryptocurrency space, and I think some people have actually lost their minds. Not this one, but you'll see as the video goes on, because the world's a-changin'. Former Goldman Sachs banker and chairman at Skybridge, his name is Anthony Scaramucci, has predicted that before the end of 2021, Bitcoin will hit 100,000 US dollars. And I think everyone's throwing that number out there because it sounds nice and round and it sounds nice and pretty. Of course, we're going to pass by 100,000. There are people predicting that we're going to pass by that before the end of summer. But, everyone's kind of throwing out their numbers. This is after previously warning investors of Bitcoin's notorious volatility. Scaramucci explained that the demand for Bitcoin has hiked lately. He also revealed that his firm's investment is Bitcoin is now worth over $500 million. He said, "We like it," Scaramucci said in a Squawk Box interview. "We had over $500 million in Bitcoin right now, and obviously our Bitcoin fund started in December. It's done quite well. That's a lot. That's a lot of monies. Bitcoin has already gained 70% since the beginning of the new year, rocketing to more than $51,000 per unit for the first time on Wednesday. The world's biggest cryptocurrency also quadrupled last year." So for those of you who also don't know, we are now at like near-ish, on top of, not really sure, 52,000 US dollars. So we've already passed by the $51,000 goal. But everybody's throwing out their numbers. It doesn't sound right to say that Bitcoin's going to hit 65,000. It doesn't say right that Bitcoin's going to go to 82,000. 94,614 doesn't have that kind of ring to it. So everyone's throwing out the 100K before the end of the year kind of thing. Also, timeline, once again, similar to 2017, what happened around midsummer, somewhere around that time frame in 2017, the idea was a lot of people started coming out with their Bitcoin price predictions, and they started saying, I think Bitcoin can definitely go to 5,000. It looks like, we might try and hit a $10,000 Bitcoin. That was kind of the number that everyone gave, and then we ended up doubling it. So I think maybe we're just in that area right now where everyone's saying a certain number, and maybe we can double that, because usually, for those of you who do not know, we tend to do a 10 every single time that the market has had like a parabolic major bull run. We typically tend to do a 10x or a 20x from the previous all-time high. So normally, if we just factor in a 10x from the previous all-time high of 20,000, that gives us a $200,000 Bitcoin, and altcoins tend to do more of the 15 to 20x of their previous all-time high, and this is why you keep getting those really crazy numbers for some of the altcoins. So yeah, people are predicting that Bitcoin's price is going to go up, because of course it is. Bitcoin and Ethereum trade to record highs. Altcoins rally. Prices of all the coins right now are like popping up. Binance coin is doing exceedingly well. Ethereum's getting very, very close to $2,000. XRP is Blumen's, like everything is currently, at the time of me making this video, pushing up quite high. I'm glad we keep getting news every single day about all these institutions and all these companies and all these hedge funds and all these pension funds who are buying up enormous amounts of Bitcoin. And people kind of go, yeah, it's fine, just $500 million into Bitcoin. But other people are finally paying attention and are buying huge amounts of all these coins because they see where everything is going. Ethereum price chases $2,000 in latest all-time high push. It's going to happen very eventually because of just how things are. Ethereum price prediction. Ethereum hits new record highs, drawing closer to 2,000 US dollars. And Cardano is getting ready for its hard fork. After a month of testing, Cardano's Mary network upgrade has been scheduled to go live on mainnet next month. Cardano has released a release date, there we go, for its long-awaited hard fork combinator, dubbed Mary. According to an update on Tuesday by the project's founder, Charles Hoskinson, the network upgrade will take place on the 1st of March after the HFC has completed all the quality assurance and developer checks on the 24th of February. Cardano right now is also up. I think when I last saw it was up by 9%. A lot of people are excited about the hard fork. They're excited about smart contracts. They're excited. They're excited about DeFi. I guess also subsequently the price rising. We're constantly seeing this $10 per ADA thing floating around within the cryptocurrency space. The previous all-time high was $1.30, somewhere around that number. I told maybe all of you before, I don't remember. Me and my friends have been discussing how high we think Cardano is going to go. I said between 5 and 10. They were all quite adamant about $10. But I know once we hit it above $5, I'm going to be checking the market every so couple of minutes just to make sure. Anyway, yeah, so the Cardano hard fork is also on the way. There's so many things happening within the cryptocurrency space right now. But yeah, the price news, as it were, is there were tons of price predictions for Bitcoin. Once again, none of them were 62,000 or 74,000 or 81.5. It was all 100K. So I thought it was like, okay, 100K. Ethereum news is that Ethereum keeps pumping. We also have the interest in DeFi and people building on top of Ethereum, and it's also fueling the price to rise. And the Cardano hard fork as well. So yeah, that's all the price news. I don't know why I quoted. If you, I quote a lot of things. I quote things that I shouldn't be quoting. I'm like, I'm going to drink some water when it's just actual water. And without further ado, let's move on. Here's where the news starts getting a little bit insane, and it all makes perfect sense. Bitcoin's price topped $52,000 today to mark a new all-time high. However, the top cryptocurrency is selling at $71,000 That is not a lie. That is not fake news. $71,000 on many exchanges in Nigeria. Selling at a 36% premium post the central bank's banking ban announced a couple of weeks ago. For those of you who were not here for that, there have been about 3 or 4 different countries who've come forward. And this isn't me being mean. This isn't me being cynical. Their economies are like actually in shambles, like not fake shambles. I mean, like it is horrendously terrible. These countries exclusively have come forward to say that they're banning Bitcoin. And when I show you why they're actually banning Bitcoin or why they're trying to stop people from interacting with it or banks from using it, it's going to blow your mind because this actually all took place. So here's the actual, they may be too small for you right here. So I blew one of them up. Right here, there's a website called Bitcoin Price Map. You can find it. It shows you a map of the world, and you can kind of zoom in and see exactly which country you want to look at. The Bitcoin price in Nigeria, $72,000. For those of you who are wondering why this is happening or how this could possibly happen, it started taking place a couple of years ago in 2017 when we had something called the kimchi premium that people started calling it when the price of Bitcoin began to skyrocket in South Korea, and then subsequently also later on in Japan and a couple of other countries. What happened was, sorry, it's the morning, I can't help it, was that governments were like, okay, you can use Bitcoin and you can trade Bitcoin, but it has to only be on these specific cryptocurrency exchanges. As Bitcoin is finite, the crypto exchanges gathered as much Bitcoin as they possibly could. People began to trade it. Bitcoin's price began to go up in 2017, and people were buying more and more Bitcoin than was actually on the cryptocurrency exchanges, as this was the only legal place where people within these countries and within these borders could actually get the Bitcoin. They started buying up more and more of it. Eventually, the cryptocurrency exchanges didn't have a lot left. The price still goes up because of the demand, and therefore, this is why we actually have the price. So while Bitcoin is indeed a worldwide currency, governments around the world have made sure or tried their darndest to make sure that people within their borders are only using specific Bitcoin that the government knows that the cryptocurrency exchange actually has. That's the entire reason for it. And this is why we saw at the end of 2017, the South Korean government actually was like, stop everything. This is going way too fast, because they saw the premium happen. And we figured out through mathematics and the internet that Japan and South Korea were actually taking charge of the entire market, and they were buying up as much crypto as possible. This also coincides with the exact same time where China was like, nope, ban, because capital outflows and stuff like that. And you can't really stop the capital outflows of Bitcoin. So now, what I'm going to show you is actually real. It's not fake. It's right here in the article. So the Nigerian Senate wrote this, and I was like, no way they wrote that. Yup, they did wrote that. It says, cryptocurrency has become a worldwide transaction of which you cannot even identify who owns what. The technology is so strong that I don't see the kind of regulation that we can do. Bitcoin has made our currency almost useless or valueless. And I was like, hold on a second. That doesn't sound like something that somebody would say. Lo and behold, it's actually right here. If we have an economy that is very weak and we cannot regulate cryptocurrency in Nigeria, then I don't know how our economy would be in the next 7 years. Cryptocurrency has become a worldwide transaction of which you cannot even identify who owns what. The technology is so strong that I don't see the kind of regulation that we can do. Bitcoin has made our currency almost useless or valueless. That gave me chills. I have actual goosebumps right now. When you are brave enough to announce that your currency is garbage in front of the entire world, that means a lot. Remember, we had news a week and a half ago, and I reposted it on Twitter, and everyone said it was from a satire website. That's cool. That's fine. But the timing does kind of line up. The articles were that Nigeria had announced that they were going to be moving into Bitcoin. This actually happened from the Nigerian Senate. Like, this is their actual, almost said Facebook page. This is their actual Twitter page, but they post quite frequently. So, like, I had to scroll. Like, look how many things that they've posted on the 11th of February. They post like 9,000 times a day, and I had to search for it. So we're at the moment right now where I'm certain there are many countries who understand that their currencies are garbage. The ban makes a lot more sense when you try to wrangle in and get control of your people and say, no, please continue using our garbage. This is the only way that we can stay afloat. The really crazy part is, imagine if Nigeria or any other country currently going through this situation started accumulating Bitcoin and told their citizens, even if you put out a text message that only went to your citizens, because you can assume if they send out a text, that text would be on the internet in 5.5 minutes, but at least the people within the country would know, buy as much Bitcoin as you possibly can. That country would become wealthy within a year. But that's not how things work. The people at the top are incredibly rich because of how they've structured the country. Sound familiar? That's how it works everywhere. Remember all the people who were really upset that the normal poor people were making money from GameStop? There's so much news like this as we continue on in the video of these people being like, no one should be using Bitcoin because, you know, the transactions, and then like we can't make them not use it and they're making money and I don't like it. Like, not even joking. Like, the news is actually like that. So the news basically is, of course, Bitcoin selling at a hyper premium in Nigeria right now. I hope, because if I remember correctly, I believe that the ban is that people cannot interact with banks to be able to acquire Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Fine. Use other legal methods. Read the books, read the law, do what you can, acquire as much Bitcoin as possible. If you have a friend who's not tech savvy, get 1 million Satoshis for them as well. And wait till the price explodes, become hyper rich, and take over the country for yourself. Because it's going to be a very big struggle as time goes on. It's just going to be a lot. So anyway, I'm glad, not that I'm glad that there's a premium, but the premium shows that people within that country are buying up said currency in mass, hopefully. Anyway, I saw that and I was like, of course that happened. Of course there's a premium. But the real shocker was them talking about that their currency is garbage. Anyway, that's the Nigeria Bitcoin news. And let's move on. In something that I'm super excited for, that I did not think was going to happen so soon, but alas, here we are. A release date and activation timeline are set for Bitcoin's Taproot upgrade, but developers and other stakeholders are still debating the best method to coordinate Bitcoin's biggest upgrade since SegWit. For those of you who don't know, Bitcoin has two types of upgrades, the inner and the outie. The inner being the core, as people sometimes condescendingly call the number one coin, Bitcoin Core. And the other way of upgrading is by giving Bitcoin other layers. We have Lightning, we have Liquid, we have this, we have that. We have other people who are trying to propose measures to have other layers and side chains next to the core to be able to upgrade Bitcoin and allow it to have more transactions. Bitcoin's core is very valuable. The idea is that many other cryptocurrencies before in the past have had their cores, their central focal point, their main chain upgraded. And it's caused vulnerabilities. People were able to hack into it. People were able to so and so and so. So Bitcoin is upgraded, the actual core, quite sparingly, not quite often, because you want to make sure that this near $1 trillion chain is left secure. The last upgrade that we had was something called segregated witness that allowed Bitcoin's block sizes to be larger and had this and so. And there was a fight within the community. It wasn't a real fight. It was just greed within the cryptocurrency community where people were like, hey, we can do it better. And this birthed Bitcoin Cash and then subsequently birthed Bitcoin Cash Satoshi's vision. So Bitcoin has two upgrades subsequently that are going to be happening. They are Taproot and Schnorr. They are going to allow Bitcoin to, I believe, have smart contracts and also private transactions. I discussed with my friend, as to the timeline of when this would happen, and I assumed it would happen sometime next year because I believe that the activation of private transactions in any manner of Bitcoin on Bitcoin is going to cause a bit of a ruckus within the world. Bitcoin is already mainstream. It's getting mainstreamer every single day. And I have a feel. So this is why it's very important, or rather quite interesting, that all the big money is getting into Bitcoin right now. I say always that they've probably done their own research. They know that these upgrades are coming. And I think this is why we've seen an tornado-lanche of institutions jumping into Bitcoin, because it's going to have private transactions in some sort of manner, in some sort of way. This is just the first iteration of 5 that we are probably going to have over the next couple of years. And the idea of a worldwide currency that has private transactions, well, you can see how that might get a little bit sticky. It says, along with Schnorr signatures, Taproot is one of the most anticipated technological upgrades to Bitcoin since the introduction of SegWit. That happened in 2017. Taproot's goal is to change the way Bitcoin scripts operate to improve privacy, scalability, and security. This and more will be made possible by combining Taproot with Schnorr signatures. Anyone familiar with the cryptocurrency knows that the privacy, scalability, and security are major concerns. While Bitcoin is the most popular cryptocurrency in the world, these issues still need to be addressed. Taproot aims to do just that. So, as of now, I believe the activation timeline is scheduled. It has somewhere. I don't know where it is. It's scheduled for July. There may be some delays, usually sometimes, because what happens is that you need proper network consensus. You need everyone on the network to be like, thumbs up, this is fine, this is cool. When you have network majority, as it is decentralized, this is why it's very important, because the entire network gets to vote on it. If we have that thumbs up, then Bitcoin gets the upgrade. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting future, I think, for all of us in some sort of way. And especially for those who are holding crypto and are holding Bitcoin. I am very excited for this upgrade. I can't outwardly show it, but the inside me is dancing around right now because this has been spoken about for like 4 or 5 years to actually have this upgrade. Anyway, that's the Taproot news. You'll understand what it means in about 5 years, like properly. And let's move on. In news that made me roll my eyes to the back of my head and I could not see briefly for 3.5 minutes. In an interview with CNBC's Squawk Box, BlackRock executive Rick Reeder said the company has started to dabble in Bitcoin. Literal eye roll. I saw this and I was like, please stop the madness. The statement essentially reaffirms what's already been made clear for some time. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, has had a long courtship with crypto. And while it's still a long way from offering something like a Bitcoin fund, there have been signs of adoption over the past few months. In December, the company posted an open position for a vice president, blockchain lead. An SEC filing last month suggested that they may include Bitcoin futures in some of its funds, much to the delight of crypto industry executives. So the news is a BlackRock is worth, I think, like trillions as well. Like I think they're another $1 trillion asset management under funds, all these other things. Is that they're getting into the cryptocurrency space and they've been dabbling in Bitcoin. So wait for it. World's largest asset manager, BlackRock confirms they're looking into Bitcoin. Asset BlackRock manager starting to dabble in Bitcoin. World's largest asset managers to dabble in Bitcoin. BlackRock managers to dabble in Bitcoin. Bitcoin jumps after report suggests BlackRock is getting serious about the cryptocurrency market. What do you notice about the screen? Anybody? Anybody at all? Nobody in the class is going to raise their hands? Really? All right. For those of you not looking at the screen as well, this is from 2018. I made a video back then. Remember when I used to flail and be like, why is no one paying attention? I don't understand why no one's paying attention. It's because of that. We knew that all these institutions had been into Bitcoin for quite a long amount of time. A long amount of time. Remember the news that shook me to my core in 2019 when the NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange were like, yeah, we've been into Bitcoin since 2014. We think Bitcoin could be a worldwide currency. That set off alarms in my head immediately. While everyone was telling us, no, don't get into Bitcoin, these people were allegedly buying Bitcoin since 2014. BlackRock isn't thinking about dabbling in Bitcoin. I'm going to assume they've been in Bitcoin for the last 3 years. Assumption. I don't know. I'm not a BlackRocker. I'm not in their CEO meetings. In the dark castle at the top of the hill, but one can assume. So anyway, I always find it quite fascinating that we get news like this and everyone's like, oh, they're getting into the market. And I'm like, but they've been in the market for years. We know that they've been in the market for years. And even more so, I don't know if BlackRock did it. Well, there were definitely a couple of banks and institutions who were like, Bitcoin's garbage, Bitcoin's trash. And then come to find out they've been buying for 4 years when 4 years ago they were telling everybody else not to buy it. Like I said, I don't know if BlackRock did it, but I know a lot of the other ones did. So dabbling in Bitcoin could mean a trillion things. Get it? $1 trillion market cap. However, I'm going to assume this means they are basically in the pool and only haven't dunked their head yet. So expect Bitcoin's price to go a lot higher when we get full confirmation as to what they've been buying or doing or futuring or accumulating, because I feel as if at this point they're all accumulating. And I mean like hyper accumulation. But it's very easy to say that you're not accumulating if you just make like 4 or 5 subsidiaries. If you make a company that makes 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 a company, this is actually how it works. And then you put that company in the Cayman Islands or somewhere else, islandy and warm. We don't own Bitcoin, but the 9 other companies that we created, they definitely own Bitcoin. Anyway, get ready for a crazy future because $100,000 Bitcoin is definitely on its way. Oh gosh, what was the news? I'm not gonna have a tab up here for it, but I'll tell you about it. What's that guy's name? Portnoy, the guy who got into crypto, he got into Bitcoin around the time it was like $11,000, $12,000. And I think Bitcoin's price went up by $4,000 or $5,000. This guy had like an interview, a house chat, with the Winklevoss twins. And, basically got into Bitcoin and made tons of money, was bragging to everyone how much money he made. The market dropped. I think he lost some money and like left crypto. He was like, I'm out of it. For some reason, he was also in the news today, basically telling people like, I will never buy Bitcoin again. And I sat there and I was like, that's cool. It's not that anyone actually cares. Like no one is, oh my gosh, like, did you see he's not joining crypto? Like, what are we going to do? We need Barstool, man. We need him to be into, I don't know what these people think, or there were two other people who also mentioned as well, some of the more seasoned investors who were like, I'm never adding Bitcoin to my portfolio. And I was like, wow, we're really missing out, because we could have used your, $1 million to put into the market. But we know that about 38 other companies and banks are already buying up tons of Bitcoin. Everyone watching this, I assume, is buying some fragments of Bitcoin. And there's also other cryptocurrency channels as well. So, logic tells us that the market's not going to collapse because Portnoy isn't joining our market anymore. The craziest part is when Bitcoin goes to $300,000, these people will be forced to join the market because they'll realize, oh my gosh, I could have gotten at $10,000 or $500 and I didn't, and I want to make money right now. So kind of weird how time works. Anyway, that's the BlackRock news, I guess. Of course, they're getting into it. But every single time we hear from the news, it's always every single day. Every single day. Don't forget that. Every single day, there's a brand new bank or asset something or mega millionaire who's also talking about getting into the space in some sort of way. I keep moving the microphone cord and then it slides back down the chair and touches my arm, and it's annoying the living heck out of me. Anyway, that's the obvious news, because of course they are. And without further ado, let's move on. In news that's also kind of like, well, of course this was going to happen. Just one day after Michael Saylor announced that his company, MicroStrategy, was proposing to raise $600 million of convertible senior notes to buy more Bitcoin, he announced that the offering will actually be $900 million. For those of you who do not know, or were not here, MicroStrategy, I'm pretty sure it was last year, definitely wasn't this year, last year, announced that they were getting into crypto, and everybody was like, what? That's crazy, MicroStrategy. And then they said that they were going to be putting, I think, 125 million into the market. And then the next day it was, I think, like 225 million, and then it was 300 million. And then Citibank tried to downgrade them. And I think they ended up raising $600 million. So I'm not shocked that their estimate was for 600. This happened like two days ago. And I told you it was going to happen. I give it by next Friday, they've already purchased his Bitcoin. I'm telling you. And the market may not even move a smidge because of how they actually trade and buy their Bitcoin. They mentioned before, like 40 hours ago, that they were going to be buying 600 million, rather raising money to put into Bitcoin, $600 million. And now they've raised it to 900 million. Here's the tweet for it right there. The terms around this offering were also further clarified from what was proposed yesterday, as it was announced that they would not bear interest and the principal amount of the note wasn't accrete. These notes will mature on the 15th of February 2027 unless they are repurchased earlier. The release states that MicroStrategy estimates that the net proceeds from the sales of the notes will be approximately $879 million, or $1 billion if the initial purchasers exercise and their full option to purchase additional notes. I have a feeling it's going to be $1 billion. Very little smidge. I have a very inkling. It's not ankle. Have a really big ankle. Really really big inkling that it's going to be $1 billion. And then so we hear about it. For some reason, everybody else just doesn't get this news. I'm not really sure what happens. And then the news comes out that they bought it, and then Bitcoin skyrockets, and everyone's like, wow, did you hear the news that just happened today and not last week? So anyway, here's I believe, the press release. Yeah, MicroStrategy announces pricing of offering of convertible senior notes. Can you imagine? I would love to be this rich. Can you imagine being like, I want to make $900 million, but I don't know what to do. I'm going to make senior notes, and then people buy those senior notes, and then you raise $900 million. Must be nice. Is this also it? Yep. $900 million to buy more Bitcoin. I guess Bitcoin is also spiking right now as well, so that does kind of make a little bit of sense. Anyway, that's the buying more Bitcoin news, because once again, pay attention. Can anyone tell me who's already buying all the Bitcoin mined each day? It's multiple choice. There are 3 answers and they're all correct. That's right. PayPal, Square, and Grayscale. MicroStrategy is buying 900, I'm going to say a safe billion in a week. There's not a lot of Bitcoin left. There's not a lot of Bitcoin left. There is not a lot of Bitcoin left on the market. I don't know how I have to say it. I tried to say it Shakespearean. I think I failed. I can't hear myself that well, I guess, at least. Anyway, the point is, just pay attention to what's happening all around you. Don't get left behind. Please, I've been saying that since we were at like $4,000. Hope everybody's making money because it's pretty obvious where the money's going to. So just make sure that you're on that obvious train. And let's move on. And to finish things off, in the most obvious thing I have ever read in my entirety of lifeness, Daniel Pinto, co-president of JP Morgan, said in an interview on CNBC, he admitted that JP Morgan will have to be involved with Bitcoin as demand for cryptocurrency keeps rising among asset managers and investors. Is anyone shocked? No? Good. JP Morgan Chase has been talking about Bitcoin since around 2015, 2016. Back then it was quite negative, everything they had to say. And then we got it, started getting whiffs of news that JP Morgan might have been dabbling, air quotes, in Bitcoin since 2017. And I was like, I'm pretty sure they're buying it. People were like, you don't have any proof of that, bro. You don't know what's going on. Remember? Oh my gosh. I remember there were people in the comment section who didn't work, to tear me apart one day when I was talking about the governments who were buying it and the other banks. I was like, we know that banks are buying Bitcoin. Oh gosh, this is a long time ago. So for those of you who don't know, the original idea of Bitcoin was to be away from banks. And I was like, yeah, that's cool and awesome, but that's not what's going to end up happening. If Bitcoin's price continues to rise, we're going to see banks start buying Bitcoin. And people were like, that's not a thing. Banks aren't going to want to buy because it's decentralized, because they can't control it, because they can. And I was like, but that they have money. They're going to be able to actually buy Bitcoin because that's how money works. They have the money, they buy the Bitcoin. And I was like, if they buy enough of it, then, they are the majority holders. But no one believed me. Everyone thought I was completely insane, saying that I'm pretty sure banks were buying. This was 4 or 5 years ago. And lo and behold, look at where we are. Of course the banks are buying it because they know. Did you not see the thing that I just read from Nigeria? Anyway, I heard a sound outside and it sounded like a truck was backing up. And for some reason I was like, is that going to back up into me? But it's nowhere near me. So I don't know why I even thought that. You can't hear it. No, you can't hear it. Anyway, the point is, Bitcoin is becoming more popular. Tesla, MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, $1 billion. The statements by Mr. Pinto indicate a shift in how banks are gradually developing from Bitcoin pessimist to organization. Though they've always loved Bitcoin. They just were not able to admit it. Looking forward to offer Bitcoin services to their clients. Famously, in September 2017, Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, called out Bitcoin as a fraud that will soon blow up. He was right, though. It did. It blew up in price. He got that right. But 2021 so far has led to huge institutional investments in Bitcoin, leading by MicroStrategy, Bitcoin, Bitcoin's price rising. So, yeah. I knew that JP Morgan Chase was into Bitcoin. Did you know that JP Morgan Chase was also into Bitcoin? I knew that BlackRock was definitely into Bitcoin. Did you know that BlackRock was into Bitcoin? I'm going to psychic right here. Every single major bank on the planet is into Bitcoin. Even people who are printing money, Federal Reserves, they are also into Bitcoin. They are buying Bitcoin behind the scenes. This is what's happening. This is not going to be something that's going to be immediately obvious until the year 2027, when we know for a fact. But believe me right now when I tell you these words, all major banks on the planet are buying Bitcoin. All of them. All the smaller banks who are not paying attention to the news in 2 years will also have to buy Bitcoin at $500,000 per coin. Every major company right now is trying to figure out a way to buy Bitcoin. We had news about Apple. We had news about Amazon. We also know that Microsoft is into Ethereum. You can look it up. They're a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance. I can assume, mega assumption, that they're also all buying Bitcoin. The smaller companies in the world who are not paying attention in 2 years are going to have to start buying Bitcoin at $500,000 per coin. You are a very early adopter. I see the comments. I see people asking. I've had friends asking me as well. Bitcoin's at 50 so and so odd thousand. Is it too late to get in? Can you imagine trying to explain to them everything that's happened? Every one of my videos. Can you imagine trying to explain that to someone in 5 sentences through a text? It's impossible. They're going to get it eventually. Your friends who are not into crypto are either knocking on your door right now, or they are going to desperately try and get into the market when Bitcoin is at $500,000 per coin. All the Bitcoin is going to disappear. Institutions and banks and family offices and hedge funds and pension funds are buying up all the Bitcoin that's out there. All of it. All of it. Just want you to know that. I don't want anyone to fake being surprised in a year or two, saying they simply did not know. Now you know. Also in the news, I thought this one was special, so I decided to add it. James Bullard, president of the Federal Reserve of St. Louis, I said St. Louis, seemingly doesn't understand why many are looking to cryptocurrency as a medium of exchange instead of a uniform currency like the US dollar. In an interview with Squawk Box, everything is on Squawk Box, Bullard said the issue for making payments isn't currencies that can be traded electronically, but rather privately issued ones, as is the case for many cryptocurrencies. He referenced a time in the United... Now, listen, this is how out of touch he is. He referenced a time in the United States before the Civil War. This man is hundreds of years behind us, where there was confusion and a dislike for trading the equivalent of Bank of America dollars, JP Morgan dollars, and Wells Fargo dollars. He said, I think the same would occur with Bitcoin. You don't want to go to a non-uniform currency where you're walking into Starbucks and maybe you'll pay with Ether. Maybe you'll pay with Ripple. Maybe you'll pay with Bitcoin. Maybe you'll pay with $1. This isn't how we do it. End quote. These people don't understand. I think they don't want to understand. I know they get it at this point. If you are an economist, if you are a printer of money and you know what inflation is, you know what's coming. They keep putting forth the idea and the proposal, or basically the idea, that people are only getting into Bitcoin because of money and only getting into Bitcoin because people want electronic payments. This is why we have seen over the last 2 years, every bank on the planet saying, well, fine, we'll just digitize our money. Did you think this was happening because they wanted to make digital money? No. They don't understand, they probably do, that Bitcoin is going to take over the entire payment system. It's not about having a digital form of money or a digital transaction. It's now people everywhere around the world are allowed to be in the financial system. It's no longer I cross a border and I have to change my currency. I travel around the world and I have to change my currency. We can just all use one currency right now. The technology already exists. The argument usually is, well, people just want quicker, faster payments, so we'll give that to them. No, that's still garbage because you're just digitizing fiat. If the United States announced right now, which they're never going to do, that they were going to stop the printing of US dollars, which they're never going to do, Bitcoin's value would drop and the US dollar would skyrocket. But the system, it's not just one little box, it's the entire system is used to printing money. And the more money you print, the richer the people at the top get and the poorer the people at the bottom get. Once again, you are constantly incentivized to go out and spend your money. Why are you saving your money? There's stuff outside that you can go and buy. And you keep hearing how these people got richer and richer because you're continuously buying their products over and over. You are not meant to be part of the global financial system. The system is changing. They know that it's changing. And this guy, for some reason, thinks that the confusion will lie in, can I have a latte? Actually, let me get extra whipped cream on that. Oh gosh, here's the dilemma. Do you guys take Bitcoin, Ether, or Ripple? Oh gosh, maybe $1? That's the hardest decision in my life right now. Is that an argument? Do you remember the guy a couple of days ago who I told you about when all those people were trading on Robinhood and trading GameStop? He was like, yeah, the real problem is that these young guys are trading every single day, but they're not going outside and getting a girlfriend. They're not making relationships. Yes, that's the biggest problem. That all the money is being siphoned to the richest people on the planet and everyone else is suffering. And during the last year and a half, people don't have jobs, people don't have security, people don't have apartments. That's the biggest problem, that guys aren't going to get a girlfriend. Yes, the biggest issue is going to be when I'm getting my latte, which cryptocurrency I want to pay in. Not that the entire system is broken. It's been destroyed by the people in power who keep telling us that everything is fine and the stock market's okay when it's being inflated. We know that the stock market is being inflated because we heard it from the people who print money. We print money to push into securities to keep the market up. Anyway, so yeah, gonna be a very fascinating. The only thing I'm waiting for now, we have banks, we have institutions, we have rich people, we have all the mega money into the market. There's gonna be more mega money continuing. It's just going to be that one country who slips and has a press conference and they're like, we can't do it anymore. We gotta accept Bitcoin. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Even more so, we already have a country that did that. It's Venezuela. They've been accepting Bitcoin for about 2.5 years. But I think everyone's waiting for like a major press conference kind of thing where they're like sitting there like dabbing the side of their eyes and crying with a little tissue and being like, we have to accept it. I'm so sorry. I don't know what you're waiting for. What don't you understand about Bitcoin is going to $1 million? What hasn't really hit your mind yet? What more do you need? Tell me in the comment section. Tell me, like legitimately, if you still don't think, somebody wrote on my Twitter yesterday, he was like, your channel is going to go down the drain because you don't understand that Bitcoin's going down. Where? What exactly don't I understand about all of this? You know how much news I read per day? I've been trying to read more books for years. My brain is fatigued every day because I read about 100 articles. All I do is read. All this information is in my head. And I bring it to you so that you have a nice way to absorb all the crazy news happening within the cryptocurrency space. If you don't understand at this point that Bitcoin has won and is only going to continue winning, I don't know what to tell you anymore. I'm not really sure. I said this before. Once the mega money, once the banks and institutions got into it, there's no turning back. They are the people. It's the banks and institutions who actually make the laws. There's no banning of Bitcoin because they own it. If any proposals are put forward, they go, no. Who got you in office? Moi. Retract the bill and we'll go about our day. If you don't know how, there's a documentary on YouTube. It's called Billionaires Row. It's from like 2012 or 2014. I'm pretty sure it's called Billionaires Row. It's about the street in New York City called Billionaires Row where all the billionaires live. But about the meetings that they have, boy howdy. If you have not watched it, make that the rest of your day right now. Because it's basically the people who are the richest people on the planet who have like an extra house or an extra so-and-so there. The people who walk into these doors and into their flats, entire floors rather, are usually presidents and lawmakers. And then a week and a half later, a law gets pushed through and everyone's like, what? How did that happen? So when all the big people own Bitcoin, where do you think Bitcoin goes? Anyway, quite fascinating that there are still people who don't understand. I do think that there are going to be other coins that do make it wholeheartedly. If Cardano continues on its push forward, I think Cardano will be integrated into other systems and people are going to be putting smart contracts on it. I think XRP has a shot. If all the banks they told us that they were partnered with are still partners, and the SEC lawsuit goes away, I think they could do just well. I think Ethereum is going to make it, but they're never going to be as big as Bitcoin. Remember the news that that guy Plan B was discussing, I think 2 years ago, about where he saw Bitcoin's price going. Everyone's like, this man's crazy. And now we're actually right on track to where we're supposed to be going. His chart shows like $500,000 Bitcoin or $1.2 million Bitcoin. And his chart always kind of tapers off around the year 2032. And people usually go, where does it go from here? And I remember hearing him say it one time. He's like, actually, he phrased it in a way that I don't say it out loud because the number sounds absurd. Because think about years ago when Bitcoin was $1. If somebody was like, this thing that's $1 is going to 50,000, you would laugh in their face. So if somebody tells you Bitcoin's 50,000 right now and it's going to 4.5 million, you would go, we gotta wait and see. What do you have to wait and see exactly? All the Bitcoin is being bought up by the richest people on the planet. Oh boy. As always, a very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Professor Wally from Gunbite University, Jojo Shaw Show, VB Nerd 21, Miguel Grolay, Lauren De Silva, Quoted Biddy, Barebones Mining, Troy Allgood, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Crypto Stahl, George Montoya, Wiselink, Not TMI, Conan, Don't Skip Leg Day, Snacky Chan, Tolek Banan, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Navarro Williams, David James, Attila the Han, Yasha Harari, Oscar Maldonado, Utopia 569, Moonman High, XRP, Joshua Vineyard, Martin Storio, Nostromo, John Sarson, The Animal Reader, A Bibliophobia, Todd Mullis, Adam Graysick, Moher Maroney, Master Ventures in Thailand, Jared Schneider, Wise Knight Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Damien, Setsuna, Richie Rich 3, Vlad the Impaler, Paxis, Nick Munn, Gialavori, Anthony Charles, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Miller, Hitch Test Every Day, and Kyle Skips Leg Day, Yes to Crypto, Bodie McBoatface, Anytime Fitness, March Corner Staff, Arithmetic 17, Bake Me a Cake, Tigra Machanisa, On Crypto with Lionel, Crayla Michelle, URL, and Bolero Bastos. Holy snap, I got it. I said the last like 13 or 14 from memory. I mean, I say them every day, so I should have them all to memory, but I'm proud of myself for being able to do that. Thank you all very, very much for your support. When I said one of them and I looked away and I was like, I think I know this. Oh my gosh, I'm pretty sure I know this. Thank you all very, very much for your support. Thank you to all the new Patreon members who keep coming in every single day. I do thank you. Thank you to everyone who left a thumbs up. Thank you to everyone who left a comment or comments. Thank you to everyone who subscribed. Thank you to everyone. I don't know what else to say. At the moment, you see a sea of green. Green. Bitcoin's currently at 51,570 US dollars. It is up by 0.59%. Ethereum is at 1,880. Binance coin is skyrocketing. If this continues over the next couple of minutes, it is going to pass by Tether. Tether's been guarding its position like really, really strong the last couple of weeks. Cardano was going to pass by Tether. Tether was like, nope. Binance coin is like a smidge away from passing by Tether. It just has to kind of do it. I mean, there's nothing really stopping it at this point. If Polkadot, Cardano, and Binance coin pump like 8%, they'll all have passed by Tether. Wow. I was like, what's this coin called? XRP is up by 3.4%. Litecoin's up by 4%. Chainlink's up by 4%. Lumens is up by 7%. Aave is up by 6%. Monero is up by 9%. Uniswap is up by 6%. Avalanche is avalanching. Is up by 21%. Luna Terra is up by 14%. Theta is up by 3%. Huobi token is up by 24%. What in the world is going on? OKB is up by 21%. The Graph is up by 7%. Maker is up by 4%. Chain token's up by 14%. Not to be confused with Chainlink. It's just a simple chain token. FTX is up by 17%. You get it. The market's in green. Altcoins are pumping. Money. Dollar bills, y'all. That entire thing. I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are, wherever the heck you might be. I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and listening, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.